Good morning. This is November the 28th, 2023. I'm Jeff Davis for Via Adelante, here with my personal assistant, Marari Lucero Geraldo. We are working on the Green Freedom Project, and the Green Freedom Project is headquartered here in Mexico and with my Egyptian partner in Cairo, Egypt, for the project headquarters on the other side of the world. We are here today to discuss we've entered the publicity stage of the project. And the project involves an expansion of the production of green energy, solar, nuclear, and wind, by the creation of an alternative monetary system, much like you have heard is emerging with the BRICS community, and an alternative to the neoliberal system, as AMLO requested in his inaugural address approximately 4 years ago. And now we have been working on this for some time, and now we're coming out of stealth mode. And we've entered the publicity stage where we need to make the people of Mexico and the larger people of the world aware of the project so that they can participate. And so we are taking advantage now today of the upcoming presidential election here in Mexico, where, excuse me, Dr. Claudia Scheinbaum is the presidential candidate for the Morena party, and her campaign is being directed by the esteemed Tatania Cloutier, who also directed AMLO's presidential campaign and brought him the presidency of Mexico. The AMLO is the head. He is the public figure. Tatania is less in the public view, but perhaps more important in many regards, because she is the woman behind the man who brought him into power. Now she is the woman behind the woman, that is Claudia Scheinbaum, who will then take over the presidency for AMLO after the elections that are coming up next year. And I believe the installation of the president is somewhere around December or January following the election. So it'd be December 2024 to January 2025, when the new president will be inaugurated. So now, Marari and I are discussing how to publicize this by using the social media platforms of Claudia Scheinbaum and Tatania Cloutier. So we need a plan. We need to structure our outreach using these platforms, because not only will this bring our project to the attention of Dr. Scheinbaum and Senor Secretaria, Madam Secretary Tatania Cloutier. She was the Secretary of the Economy under AMLO until she stepped aside for other activities, clearly to be the campaign manager for Claudia. And Senora Scheinbaum, I shouldn't be quite that familiar. But anyway, so we're here, Marari and I, talking about how to structure this. And I'm thinking that our first announcement should be a very short summary of the nature of the Green Freedom Project and its benefit to the Mexican people and the Mexican nation. So let's take a look at it. I had you do a practice session in Spanish several meetings ago. Kind of sprung it on Marari. So we started out with three elements of the Green Freedom Project, three central benefits to Mexico. And I believe those three central benefits were, one, it makes Mexico a prosperous nation. Why? Because Mexico has a lot of solar energy available to be harvested. And if you harvested a substantial quantity of it, and that is the goal of the Green Freedom Project, you'll end up generating about $280 billion worth of clean energy every year that goes to the Mexican people, half of which would go to the Mexican people who built the system, as well as the rest of the people in the world who participate in building the system. And the other half, as the patrimony of Mexico, goes to the Mexican people. This would make Mexico a very, very prosperous nation. And because the world wants to remediate global warming, Mexico taking the lead will make Mexico among the leading nations in the world. So benefits number one, prosperity for Mexico. Benefit number two, Mexico is taking a lead among the nations of the world. And I had some difficulty remembering the last time what the third benefit was.
It was a new monetary system.
Oh, yes. Well, the way we managed to overcome the financial obstacle that prevents the expansion at scale, that currently prevents the expansion at scale of the green energy sources, is a lack of funding. The old monetary system doesn't have it. The neoliberal system doesn't have it. And the neoliberal system is quite predatory. It is, well, it's not based on human dignity. It's based on greed and profit, and is intended to benefit those who control that system, the wealthy and powerful. And I have nothing against the wealthy and powerful being wealthy and powerful, but to the extent that it disadvantages and exploits and abuses other people, well, then, that's not a good thing. And we need, and the world would benefit from an alternative system that is not based on the idea of greed and profit and the increased wealth and power of a very select group of people at the expense of everyone else. So the third benefit of the Green Freedom Project to Mexico and to the wider world is the creation of an alternative monetary system that is not based on greed and predation of the rest of humanity, but being a completely separate monetary system, not under the control of those predators, but rather under the control of Via Adelante, can be formulated, designed with an underlying principle completely different from the greed and predatory nature of the old system. And the underlying principle for a green freedom monetary system is to provide a standard of human activity, economic activity, based on providing every person in the world who participates in the system with a dignified life. A fundamental, it's like having a baseline standard of living. Enough compensation for every worker to have a home, financial security, educational benefits,
Okay.
and food, and a roof over your head, enough food to eat, and a sense of security that allows you to live without the stress of always fighting everyone else to survive, which is the fundamental principle of the neoliberal system. Let me kind of summarize that. If you create another monetary system, you can design it according to your own human values. The human values that we at Via Adelante assign to the new monetary system is a basic standard of human dignity in economic activity. Now, you say, create a new monetary system. How do you go about that? The old neoliberal system is controlled through a variety of institutions. Number one, it's dollar dominated, so the United States dominates it. But it's also dominated by a banking system and a variety of institutions: International Monetary Fund, World Bank, Bank of International Settlements, the SWIFT system, and a whole bunch of what I refer to as money police that police the system. You've seen recently in the conflict between Russia and the West, using Ukraine as its proxy, that when the old neoliberal system controls the money supply and access to it in the world, that anyone who wants to engage in economic activity is subject to being shut out of that system by the United States and the money police. Sanctions. Well, that's because there is no other system. Everyone is subject to that because there is no other system. Well, we have created another system. We are in the process of creating another system. And the way that works is the result of the emergence of digital technology, which has made the emergence of an independent online money supply. Bitcoin and Ethereum are blockchain generated alternative money supplies. They establish the mechanism by which the new monetary system can be created. And so now the opportunity to create an alternative system exists. And if you've been paying attention to events in the world, you're aware of something called the BRICS community: Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, all of whom have gathered together to create an alternative monetary system. A club of nations participating economically with one another in an effort to escape the predatory domination of the neoliberal system. The BRICS community, composed of those 5 nations, is now expanding to 10 nations, including Iran, Saudi Arabia, Ethiopia, Egypt, excuse me, and United Arab Emirates. Argentina was about to join, but recent events, the election in Argentina, have brought a gentleman to the presidency who has decided that Argentina will not join BRICS. So we have the BRICS 10. It was the BRICS 11 until Argentina dropped out. In any event, the essence, the bottom line is that there is now an alternative monetary system in the works, which will allow people to escape the predatory nature and the vulnerability of being at the mercy of the dollar-dominated United States-controlled neoliberal monetary system. That's what we are building. And so we want Mexico to be the headquarters for that system here in the Western Hemisphere. And to do that, and this new monetary system will establish a substantial new capital market, fully funded, with a new currency. We call it green, because every country has a word for green, so that in English, the currency is green. In Spanish, the currency is verde. In German, it's grün, etc. So we now have established this new capital market, fully stocked with green, which will be used to fund the expansion of the green energy sources: solar, wind, and nuclear. Now we're at the position where, having begun the project, established the currency, established the capital market, we would now like to announce to the world and the BRICS community, and Mexico, which doesn't actually happen to be a candidate for BRICS membership, but that doesn't matter. The alternative monetary system can be embraced by the BRICS community, but can also be embraced by any country outside the BRICS community. And so, of course, naturally, headquartered here in Mexico, we would hope that Mexico would take the lead in sponsoring the Green Freedom Project. And so we need to get the word out to Mexico, the Mexican people, and the candidate for the presidency of the Morena party, which we fully expect will win the presidency for a variety of reasons. The world is changing. Mexico is moving into the future. The old controlled political system is now being led by more progressive forces in the persons of the Morena party and its political supporters. AMLO is the first, and it makes perfect sense. He's taking Mexico, leading the effort to bring Mexico into the future. And we feel strongly that the Green Freedom Project is the perfect vehicle for Mexico to embrace a new economic mechanism, a new economic vehicle for its emergence as a modern country in the new world that is coming into being. So that's our effort. We're seeking to publicize that. We're seeking to have the people of Mexico understand the benefits of the Green Freedom Project to Mexico and the rest of the world, and join in the project, participate to bring it about. So now Murari and I are sitting here trying to figure exactly how we should make these first announcements, inject them into the social media streams of the now campaigning presidential candidate for Morena, Dr. Claudia Scheinbaum, and her campaign manager, the very talented and influential Madame Tatania Cloutier. And so the first message, I think, should be more or less this one. So maybe, what do you think, Murari? You think I should stop the recording here, create the link, and then you can post that link to the Twitter streams, Twitter feeds of Senor Doctora Scheinbaum and the esteemed Estimada Tatania Cloutier.
I agree with you. Just cut it now.
Okay, so for those watching, you may see we have already mounted a series of videos on YouTube and Rumble, and you can check those out for more information. We will close this down. You may contact us personally. We are now building the website. It's not here yet, but it will soon appear for Via Adelante. And you can contact us for any suggestions, both by responding to the Twitter publications that we're sending out, and by sending us an email at via.adelante@gmail.com. So thank you very much, and we will close this session down for today. Live long and prosper.